What is money is a really interesting question. Over the course of the 1,000 years since we've had many different forms of money, almost anything has been used as money, from large immovable stones on Pacific islands through to seashells, precious metals. In the modern incarnation, people mainly think of it in terms of notes and coins, but really most of our money now is just data. It's just ones and zeros sitting in bank systems and payment systems that we move around. So there are a number of problems with the current dominant money systems. It is a systemically unstable system, with the IMF reporting over 400 currency-related crises in the last 40 years alone, affecting pretty much every single country in the world. It also has problems in terms of who gets to create it, with the present system almost solely dominated by commercial banks who create over 97% of the money in our system. The problem with bank-created money is that it's created at the point of making a loan, which means that it requires people, businesses, government to get into debt in order for there to be money in the system. And the flip side of this money creation system is that when you pay back your debt, you destroy that same money that was created. So this creates a perpetual need for more and more people to go into debt to ensure that we have money in our economy. So when you hear politicians and people in the media talk about the real solution we need is for everybody to pay off their debt, what you can know for sure is that they have absolutely no understanding of how the money system works. If we all did that, we would basically have no money left in our economy. It's a huge driver of inequality. So with interest being due on all the money that we borrow and interest being paid on all the money that we save, it in fact leads to a system where the bottom 80% of earners are giving money to the top 10% of earners on an ongoing basis, which is kind of perpetuating and increasing the level of inequality in the UK. So ScotPound is a national complementary currency for Scotland that you would use to pay for goods and services in the same way as normal money, operated on a not-for-profit, free at point of use payment system with the idea of being for the common good of Scotland. An alternative digital currency changes the mechanism of money creation. So rather than money being created solely at the point of someone making a loan and another person going into debt, what this money is created in the public interest and given directly to people. So not the government, neither business nor people need to go into additional debt to create this money. The second benefit of creating a digital currency in Scotland would be that it allocates money very differently. If you look at how banks, who have this huge power to create new money, they don't allocate this new money or give out the new loans, which is another way of saying it, based on public interest or what the people care about in some kind of democratic way. What they do is allocate it based on where they can get the most profit. Rather than going to put up asset prices or fund financial speculation, this would be going straight into the hands of people. And those people, especially those in the bottom segment of earners, would really go out and spend that money immediately, which would lead to real economic benefit. This can be contrasted with the Bank of England's quantitative easing programme, where they pushed in £375 billion into the UK economy, and even their own research shows that a disproportionate amount of that has really just gone to, again, push up asset prices and benefit the top 5% of earners. There are loads of other kinds of complementary currencies out there which have proven their worth at smaller scales. So in the UK, we have the example of the Bristol pound, for instance, which is our largest local currency. But we shouldn't forget that the Findhorn community up in the north of Scotland started this revolution with the Echo back in 1996. The M-Pesa digital payment system in Kenya, the Banco Palmas network of local banks in Brazil, the Chiemgauer in Germany. The Via franc in Switzerland is an excellent example of a digital national currency which provides real counter-cyclical economic effects. So when the Swiss franc is hard to acquire or scarce within the Swiss economy, Swiss businesses turn to the Via franc in order to mitigate their inability to get Swiss francs, and it provides a real stabilizing effect to the Swiss economy. It is very important that people take back the power to create money. All too often people forget that, in fact, the money is a human invention. We created the rules, we created the parameters, and so we can change it. We just happen to have ended up with this monetary system dominated by commercial banks, and it in fact served humanity well throughout a couple of hundred years. But it's really important for people now to look at that money system and really see if it still meets our needs and goals. And if you can look at it and say that it doesn't, then you should really join us in supporting a move towards currency innovation. What most energizes me, and in fact all of the New Economics Foundation, is the excitement and energy that's up here in Scotland. And Scotland is truly uniquely placed to be looking at this monetary innovation. In almost no other country in the world is there this level of literacy around currency, this level of interest and this level of desire to do something different. So I think it's really important for the people of Scotland to seize that energy and make a positive change.